Welcome back to another monthly recap. Today I'm going to be going over every single album that I listened to in the month of July. You guys know the deal. I'm going to give a couple sentences, quick thoughts about every single album, and yeah, let's get it going. While King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is known for their ability to play a wide array of genres, Gumboot Soup is the first project I've heard from them where that skill actually works as a weakness. Just the overall lack of stylistic identity makes for an album that feels a little all over the place. The Alchemist's newest release, Flying High, just feels kind of directionless. I guess I just don't really get the point of this project. The beats are nothing special for The Alchemist, and the features don't stand out much either. McKinley Dixon's beloved Paradise Jazz is an album that shines instrumentally with soundscapes that range from lively and smooth to aggressive and bombastic. However, the delivery and flow doesn't really do it for me. It just feels a bit too wordy and awkward. Nirvana's Nevermind combines extremely catchy melodies and riffs with stellar production and mixing, making for an incredibly memorable experience. Now, hopefully I say this right. This is Suzanne Sundfors Blomi, I believe it is. It took a while to grow on me, but once I let this album's atmosphere take me away, I kind of fully realized how special it is. With its grand instrumental builds, intricate and sharp vocal melodies, and themes that cover the universal and mystical aspects of love, this is easily one of the best and most unique albums of the year. Soul Present by Q, yes, that's the artist name, Q, is surprisingly pretty highly rated on Album of the Year, and I just don't really see the appeal. For the most part, to me, it just comes across as a bad Michael Jackson impression with some gimmicky production to go along with it. Earl Sweatshirt's I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside is my favorite project from him. It's moody and menacing, features some of his most emotional performances, and has production that creates a consistently off-kilter feel throughout the entire album. After listening to the first track of Talk Talk's Laughingstock, I kind of expected to instantly love the album, but that wasn't the case. It's just really hit or miss for me. It's definitely at its best when the band creates subdued, minimalistic, and detailed tracks that really let the space keep you on the edge of your seat. And it's at its worst when the percussion becomes repetitive and it kind of clashes with what the rest of the band is doing instrumentally. Simply put, Mac Miller's Swimming feels like a man trying to comfort himself through song, and as a result, he created an album that is extremely heartfelt and easy to connect to. Viagra Boys' debut album, Streetworms, is relentless. It's just banger after banger after banger. You're more or less getting the same kind of gritty and danceable instrumentals and hilarious writing that I loved on their newest album, but it's with a less obvious concept, kind of tying all the songs together. Beyoncé's Lemonade is stellar, which isn't surprising, but it's the way that it's stellar that surprises me. The first 6 tracks are pretty solid, but things really pick up from Love Drought to the end. Obviously, Beyoncé sounds great, and the production is for the most part amazing, but the real surprise of this album is the writing. I was worried that the writing would focus too much on her relationship with Jay-Z to the point where it would become one-dimensional and repetitive, but that just isn't the case. Sure, there's some tracks that go into the relationship, but the real heart of this album is Beyoncé's search for self-love and self-empowerment. Beach House's Depression Cherry is definitely the most interesting album I've heard from them texturally and the most unique within their discography. However, most of the songs do kind of fizzle out in an unsatisfying way that just leaves me wanting more. Little Dragon's new release, Slugs of Love, too often relies on its atmosphere rather than crafting actually captivating songs. The hard-hitting writing on The Sunset Tree is often let down by some occasionally overdramatic and emotionally empty instrumentals. Dominic Fike's Sunburn starts off pretty strong, but his vocal performances become more grating as you get further into the album, and the mediocre rap verses aren't all that flattering either. LOONA/Odd Eye Circle's Max and Match was my introduction to K-pop, and it honestly blew my expectations out of the water. There's something so exciting about the sensuality displayed on this album. The vocals have a ton of personality, and the fusion of soul and funk chord progressions was unexpected but great. The only thing that holds me back from enjoying this more is the occasional track where the mix feels a little too compressed. While Nirvana's In Utero is less tightly mixed and performed than Nevermind, its eclectic instrumental palette and impressively visceral vocal performances makes it feel like enough of an artistic evolution. While JID's flows on the Never Story are diverse, I can't help but feel like he gets overpowered by the production and he just can't really find the smoothest pockets within the beats. Now, this is my favorite album of the year currently, and I just haven't been able to stop listening to it. Whether it's catchy and quirky or distorted and horrifying, Geese's 3D country never lets up on the energy. Stylistically, it's as if Geese takes the best parts from Squid, Viagra Boys, and Black Country New Road. The wide vocal range and expressive vocal inflections, saturated production, and exciting genre fusion makes for just a mind-blowing experience. From its early 2000s reminiscent club bangers to rock rap fusions to infectious Jersey club grooves, Group Therapy's I Was Mature for My Age But I Was Still a Child covers a wide array of styles, all of which are carried by three distinct and unique vocalists. While there are occasionally some tight punk grooves, Snooper's Super Snooper feels extremely one-dimensional, and it rushes through ideas so quickly that, with the exception of the last track, the whole album just feels like a bunch of underwhelming song snippets. Having only heard Rid of Me coming into this new PJ Harvey album, I was expecting to get some more visceral and angry punk tracks, but PJ Harvey takes a surprising turn to some singer-songwriter folk, and it turned out pretty well. The overall pacing of the album can make it feel somewhat tedious, but Harvey's theatrical vocal presence brings a unique flair to the folk instrumentals, and the abstract lyricism makes for a strange but compelling listen. Apart from some occasional eye-roller lyrics, Indigo de Souza's, I think that's how you say it, All of This Will End combines explosive and thick beds of guitar, soaring extra instrumentation, and some powerfully raw vocals. Sleater-Kinney's The Woods just doesn't really hit for me. It feels like a bunch of songs and guitar riffs that I've already heard before, with some overdone vocals and a track list that kind of gets tiresome because of the lack of variety. Welfare Jazz is Viagra Boys' sleepiest record, which is disappointing considering how crucial the energetic grooves are to their music. While Is This It can tend to feel like it recycles ideas rhythmically, the guitar work, the charismatic vocal presence of Julian Casablancas, and the chemistry between Julian and the instrumentalists makes for an undeniably fun but laid-back indie rock record. Ever since I heard and enjoyed Boy Anonymous, I've been eagerly waiting for this next Paris, Texas album. Their new album, Midair, is out, and yeah, it's disappointing. The duo seems to have lost the charm of their earlier music as they opt for kind of ignorant trap rock tracks that are filled with corny bars and repetitive and lackluster flows. The style of lyrics here can be funny and entertaining if done right. Playboi Carti's a good example of that. But the similes are just so obvious that they come across as childish and annoying. I guess I'm just not a huge fan of the direction that they've taken their music. Hopefully they can get back to the more melodic vocal performances and the cleaner mixing that was present in their earlier music. The musicality and rap features on Nujabes, I think is how you say it, Modal Soul, are pretty great, but the textures and especially a lot of the piano integrated into these tracks just comes across as kind of plain to me. I absolutely love the integration of sound bites from what I think is film and cinema on Boldy James and the Alchemist's Super Tecmo bow. It really enhances the menacing mood of the album. Boldy and the Alchemist chemistry is also at an all-time high and creates an album that is somehow cold-blooded but easy to listen to as well. While undeniably clunky and kind of thrown together, the Microphone Song Islands is home to some of Phil's most bold and daring ideas and some of his best vocal melodies and harmonies. Travis Scott's newest album, Utopia, is one that took a little while to grow on me. It's not as hooky or instantly likable as Astroworld, but the album is extremely forward-thinking. It's also enough of a stylistic departure from Astroworld to make it feel like there was some artistic evolution in that 5-year break. The production is often sprawling, haunting, and cinematic, and Travis actually has some decent performances here. I do prefer his more melodic performances, but even his more straightforward rapping performances are leagues better than the recent features he's been doing. My main issue with this album comes down to some tracks that feel like they meander without any real direction or purpose. But overall, this is a really solid return from Travis that solidifies him as one of the best artists in regards to world building. Pixies Doolittle is a very unique indie rock album that has loads of personality, but not really a personality that I can connect to. It more so feels like a bunch of different characters are being played from track to track rather than an actual person. While all the technical aspects of the album are pretty great, I just find it hard to care about this album. And there you go. those are all the albums I listened to in July. Pretty great month for new music, to be honest. We had Travis, obviously, PJ Harvey, Indigo De Souza, Group Therapy, I think that was this month. 3D Country, just a bunch of cool new albums. So yeah, pretty great month for music. And let me know your thoughts down below on any of these albums that are brought up here. Yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.